Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Four Fight Fans. And today we're going to talk about UFC 256. I'm joined by Masood, MJ, and Sam. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Pretty good.
Great.
Awesome.
Ready to start.
So, what did you guys think of UFC 256? It was an awesome card, no?
Oh, eventful. That's if I want to say it in one word, I would say eventful.
Well, I didn't see the prelims, but the main card was really good. It was good. I think the referee, like we're gonna talk about later, but the referee messed up in one game in the Dos Santos fight. But overall, it was a good fight.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get into the details of all the fights for sure. So, what did you think, Masood?
Yeah, it was great. Even the prelim, someone it was
Oh,
was
yeah,
great.
some great prelims for
We
sure.
Oh,
had some
Great ones.
great knockouts. Cobb Swanson. We had the other guy, Fizz
Fazayev.
Fizzayev.
Wow,
Oh my
wow.
God.
What a combo.
We had
Insane.
it was an incredible card overall.
All right.
let's not forget the early prelim. Chase Hooper.
Oh
Chase
yeah, that
Hooper.
was
Man,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't the most exciting
Well,
fight, I gotta say, but it was definitely the finish.
it
It
was
was
a pretty
beautiful.
exciting fight, I thought. Actually,
I
it was
mean,
very
it got
eventful. It
yeah
was, it
yeah.
was. Yeah, we'll get into that one as well and get. But first and foremost, let's talk about the main event that we have to. It was just one of those fights that's, wow, it was a banger. It's gonna go down in contention for fight of the year for sure. And we're
It already is
coming into the
nominee.
final couple of weeks. So yeah, it's gonna be definitely one of the nominees. So it was Brandon Moreno versus Davidson Figueredo for the flyweight championship, and the result ended up being a draw, and it ended up being a majority draw actually. So one of the judges had favored Figueredo, while the others two gave a draw. And we can basically all agree that the draw came down to that one point deduction that
Which
Figueredo had.
Yeah,
definitely
more or
yes.
less, more or less.
Now, what did you
Yeah.
guys think about the point deduction, Masood?
I think it was fair. That was a that was a nasty knee.
Nasty.
That was nasty. And I gave rounds one, two, and five to Figueredo, and three and four to Moreno.
Yeah.
And round three was, Davison was ahead.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that point deduction, I think he would have definitely won the match.
Yeah.
But
Well,
uh,
I think
but
Moreno
honestly, it was
had
a very close match. I think Davison underestimated Moreno.
I think so as well.
He
Yeah.
had a chin on him. He had a chin on him.
He
He got
had
clipped
quite
hard.
a heart. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lots of
well,
heart.
he was an underdog too, right?
yeah.
Definitely, he was the
Oh yeah, oh
underdog
yeah.
for
No
sure.
one.
I think there we need to see a rematch between these
Oh,
guys.
yeah,
Everybody
100%.
wants to see a rematch.
100%. Yeah. Even Dana confirmed that fight has to be a rematch. MJ, what did you think?
To go back to the point deduction, I gotta say it wasn't just the one thing that caused it. It was just over and over. We saw with the eye pokes from round one, and yeah, just the way not even during the grappling, but even standing up, the eye pokes you could see it. So I think it was fair for sure,
Yeah, I think so too.
and that ended up causing him to fight. Like, if it wasn't for
Well,
those,
he did retain his title, so I wouldn't say it caused him to fight because he
well,
was kind of winning anyway.
yeah, but a lot of people are gonna still say, yeah, with a draw,
Yeah,
it's
it was a
not as
draw, and
not as clean as you want it to be.
Brandon Moreno was worthy of a draw, I thought, as well. I
Yeah.
mean, the
Absolutely, yeah.
point
Take nothing away
deduction,
from him.
the point deduction was fair. I think it was at the end of a few calls, like the referee told him, warned about a few dirty kind of things, eye pokes, like you said, and it was kind of an accumulation. It wasn't just for
Yeah,
that low blow, but
yeah,
it was a
exactly, yeah.
severe low blow. I mean, he was on the ground coughing, and that was
Yeah,
nasty.
I
Oh
thought
yeah,
it's done. I thought it's finished at that
Yeah,
point.
it's very possible. Like
Uh,
a fight a few months back in Bellator where
Bellator, yeah.
the low blow was so bad where the fighter just couldn't continue, and
Yeah,
it's a kind of a
that's no
shame.
contest. Yeah,
So
that's
what
no
did you
contest.
think, Sam, of the fight overall?
Well, it was a great fight. I think one reason that the fight was really great was that the both fighters were active. So If you look at their history, they were fighting like I think 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. So
Yeah,
that's
3 weeks ago, exactly.
that's really good. When you have two fighters that they're recently active, then you get more in the fight, right? It's like there's more exchange. I feel when the fighter is not fighting recently and they're coming back to field after 1 year in a 50-50 situation, you don't see that much exchange. But because they were active, it was good exchange. And about the point, well, I don't know how many. Like, I don't care if it was the first time or second time. If there's a something like that the damage is really hard, no matter if it's the first time or second time, you have to give the point because it's gonna wear out the guy later on, right? Like if you get need on your balls or whatever, like you cannot fight like that anymore. Like, so it's gonna affect your fight. So no
Yeah, it
matter
takes a
if it
toll
was
on you.
yeah, so I don't care if it was a second time or third time, or even if it was the first time, it was a fair point deduction. Overall, I think Moreno was underdog, and kind of that was in favor of him because like I think as you said, Moreno, the other guy, Figueredo underestimated him, and it was good. You know, sometimes it's good when you're underdog. So I hope we see a rematch, and I hope by the time we get to rematch, we're gonna have crowd because the fight like that needs crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I
anyway,
definitely agree. Yeah, that we will see a rematch. That fight will definitely go for a rematch in 2021. Dana pretty much confirmed it, and he said that he's gonna give both fighters, time off to rest and recover, and for the rematch they're both gonna have like a full camp. So there's not gonna be a 3-week fight anymore, and that's gonna be very interesting to see how everything goes. And I do believe that Figueredo did underestimate Moreno a little bit, just a little bit, and I think it's because he's walked through his past two fights or three fights even with Benavidez kind of ruthlessly, and he had a huge confidence going into this one. And
well, what do you think about rematch? I think in the rematch,
I think in the
Moreno
rematch,
gonna do better.
Moreno is definitely going to have to step up because Figueredo will step up, and Figueredo's power is undeniable. And every time his punches were landing, the sound was just so much louder than Moreno's. And
well, I'm not saying Moreno gonna win, but I think it's gonna be a better fight for him because that's based on a statistic. It's like usually when you see a fight that one fighter won that fight, the next time it's either the other fighter wins or like it goes to 1-1, or even if the same fighter wins again, it's not gonna win that as easy as the first time. That's how it usually is. So considering the first match, that it was kind of 50-50, let's say, I'm saying even if Moreno is gonna lose, like he's gonna do a better job in point of a stand-up at least because his ground game is really good already. So
yeah, they're both great on the ground, and they're reluctant to go to the ground with one another.
Anyway.
Yeah, they usually say the rematch is always easier for the champion, but in this case, I'm not so sure. I mean, like Figueredo's got to be scared after seeing that from Moreno.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
He's
Scared. I don't
watch out
think
for him.
anything
I mean,
scares
no,
that
like
dude.
aware, more. Yeah,
That guy is
like
straight up killer. I don't know if he'll be scared, but
he's got to be more prepared for sure.
he was definitely less enthused about the possibility of a rematch than Brandon was. I mean, Brandon right away kind of was like, yeah, you have to do it back, while Figueredo was like, whatever. Whatever the UFC
No,
decides.
you can't deny a rematch in this
and
case.
Stuff like that. But Dana said, yeah, it's gonna be for sure a rematch. So, yeah, 100%. Anything to add, Masood?
I feel like Figueredo is gonna be very ready for the rematch. The way he came out in the first and second round, it looked like he wanted to, finish Moreno.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I mean,
then
he always does.
Yeah, but the chin on this kid and his heart, I mean,
Unbelievable.
yeah,
Well,
unbelievable.
well, you gotta
I think in
consider.
the second fight, he's gonna be more patient and he's gonna be more methodical.
Definitely.
And
They're
I think
gonna
he's
have
gonna
better
do
camps
a
as
much
well.
better job. And he's gonna have few months, at least 3-4 months to prepare for it.
Yeah.
And so is Moreno, but I'm gonna give the edge to Figueredo
Same.
for the rematch.
Yeah.
Manny, if you don't mind, I got a question for Masood.
Of course.
Do you believe that Moreno kind of got hope in that fight after the third round, after that point reduction? Like before that, it was all Figueredo, and then after that point reduction, Moreno was like, okay, maybe I can still get back in this, and then he just went all in. He didn't care, you know. He was just taking those shots, but he was still going in, and he almost dropped Figueredo a couple times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
think,
He stunned him for sure.
yeah, I think after
would you
that
say
third
so? Would you
round,
say that point reduction like kind of changed the fight?
I think so too. Yeah, in the fourth round, he came out very strong, and if you look at the stats, the strikes were even in the fourth round, and
But even
yeah,
before
he
the
came
low
out very.
blow, I think Brandon was having much more activity.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was coming out more. He was seeing that Figueredo was slowing down just a little bit. So he definitely
Yeah.
had more impetus for sure. I think the low blow slowed him down, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you remember when he got that kick in the nuts, at that point they were exchanging really good, and I think Brandon was doing better. Brandon Moreno was doing
I
better.
think so.
So I don't think in fighting, I don't think there's such a thing that you get hope. You just take your chance till the end of the fifth round. So I don't think that point did kind of caused him to fight better or something like that. Like it's just it is what it is. You try to finish the fight and don't let it go to the judge. So.
Yeah. I thought that
Yeah.
was one of the best fights I've seen all year for sure. For sure. I mean, even when we were talking to some of the other people around us who are more casual fans, and they were saying that this is definitely one of the best fights I've seen from UFC so far. That fight definitely deserved the crowd too, but yeah, for sure that was
Okay,
one of the good fights.
let's close the main
Yeah,
event.
let's move on to the rest of the card. Before we get to the main event cards, let's talk about some of the prelim guys that deserve a shout out. So let's start off with the first fight of the evening, which was Chase Hooper, and his opponent, I forget his name. Sorry, Peter Barrett. Peter Barrett. Now Chase Hooper is phenomenal on the ground, as you can see. His game is always to go to the ground, and he has phenomenal ground game. But Peter Barrett came with the perfect strategy for someone like that, giving him absolutely no space, keeping it on the feet, just peppering him with shots.
And it almost worked for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Almost. Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
He was headed for decision victory, 100%.
If it wasn't for that crazy submission,
100%.
yeah.
And then Chase Hooper pulls out a submission right at the in the middle of the third round, and it was a great bit of scramble. Yeah. What did you think, Masoud, of that scramble and Chase Hooper's ground game?
I mean, Chase Hooper, he's definitely improved a lot. His striking still has a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
He's 21 years old. He is showing that, he wants it. He's hungry. He's determined. And, to get a submission like that in the third round after getting, tagged so many times in the first and second round, it shows that he belongs in the UFC, and he's going to get a lot better. He's only 21. Imagine, when he's 27 years old, 28, he's going to be great.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing him fight again and again in UFC. I think he has future in this division.
MJ, though, do you think he can continue fighting like this though? Like,
taking
so much damage, and then maybe hoping for a Hail Mary submission at some point, and maybe he doesn't get that.
Yeah, for sure. I was just gonna say, especially with younger fighters, I don't think UFC is the best place to like learn. It's
yeah. Joe Rogan said that.
It's real. No, I mean, yeah.
On the broadcast, it's like this is no place to be learning.
Yeah, because the guy.
Well, it depends how young you are, right?
I mean, no, he's the fights for him are only gonna get harder and harder, right?
Oh yeah.
So if he almost choked in front of this guy, what's the next guy gonna do to him?
He's definitely not ready to fight top contenders. No way around.
And the damage he took. I mean, sure, he's 21, but if you're gonna start taking this much damage at 21, where are you gonna be at 30 and when you're prime, supposedly?
I don't know. If I were him, I would slow down a little bit. I wouldn't rush into the next fight. I would just try to work on my striking, because we know this guy can go to the ground. We know this guy can submit people.
He's something else.
He's a killer on the ground. But when a real fighter, can he stand up and box to them? Can he take those shots? I'm not sure. So yeah, it's a little risky for him just going down this path.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, Zam, I know you didn't watch the prelims, so we're gonna move on quickly. But
fine.
we do have a few other ones to talk about.
Gavin Tucker.
Gavin
Canada.
Tucker, yeah, from Canada, finally
From
gets
Canada representing.
finally getting a win. That was a okay fight, not the most thrilling, I would say, but pragmatic. And he even said that before the fight that he's gonna make sure that it's a technical fight, he's technically sound, and he got the victory that way. And good for him. That was a nice fight. Tisha Torres, wow, that was some performance by her. Like her nickname, Tiny Tornado, very fitting. Very fitting.
Well suited for it.
Absolutely, very fitting. Did you guys had a chance to see that fight?
Oh yeah.
What did you think, MJ?
No.
Crazy fight. Yeah, it was good. It was definitely fun to watch. I mean, her opponent.
Have you ever spent hours?
I don't know if she was the sharpest. Sam Hughes. But
yeah, I didn't think so either. Like I didn't think her level was that high.
Take nothing away from Torres and her finish. But yeah, her opponent, I was expecting her to, because she needed that fight. She needed that win. Sam definitely needed that win. But she didn't show up. But yeah, it doesn't take anything away from Torres.
No, she definitely showed that she's way like way more on the rise.
I see a good future for her.
Yeah, she's definitely made a statement in that division for sure. Masoud, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a great fight too. Great finish. It wasn't a very competitive fight.
Yeah,
but, it was a good fight.
Yeah, good fight.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on quickly to another bonus winner, a knockout bonus winner, performance award. Rafael Fiziev versus Moicano. And Moicano is definitely no slouch. He was on a tear. I think he was on a streak coming into this fight. But Fiziev, as we saw back in Fight Island, with that Matrix reaction time, man, his combinations and speed is next level.
It's unreal. This guy, wow. Just wow.
His speed is insane. When they were showing it on slow motion, like when they were like doing the replay of the knockout combination, his left hand was in like normal speed. Or
yeah, it didn't look like slow motion.
It did not look like slow motion, which I was like.
But plus,
wow.
he's got power with that speed. To 100%. Have power as well, it's just.
Yeah, he has
deadly.
a low center of gravity, kind of a lump, for that kind of weight class, kind of like Volkanovski.
Yeah, the combinations he puts together are just unreal.
Very slick.
Lightweight division. Yeah, it's crazy.
They are lightweight. I thought they were featherweight.
Oh, yeah.
You put the division on notice.
He looks, but lightweight is so stacked.
I can't wait to talk about this.
Cub Swanson. Let's just quickly go through him as well. He got a knockout over Pineda, but Pineda, I felt like he was tiring and he just didn't defend.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't look. I don't know. Maybe he had a bad weight cut or something. He looked kind of out of it.
He fought quite a few times this year. I think he's a little burnt out. He wasn't as sharp.
Yeah. Towards the end of the fight, he was kind of just fading, and Cub Swanson just came on. He was stronger and stronger, and he's tough. He took so much beating in that fight. His leg was torn to pieces. But he's stuck out.
Experience won it for him.
Experience definitely won it.
Cub Swanson is a veteran.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing special, but just that experience definitely won the fight for him.
And he looked so much smaller than Pineda too.
Yeah,
he looked at least 15 pounds lighter.
At least, yeah. He looked slimmer, yeah. But faster, the other guy definitely, Pineda, gassed out towards the end, and
Yeah, and that combination Cub Swanson put together, that was beautiful.
Yeah, yeah,
The last
definitely.
two fights of prelim kind of ended the same way with the beautiful combinations, you know?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, very technical, very good.
Yeah.
Overall, great prelims, just like perfect setup for the main card.
Yeah.
Great fight night overall. Great,
Yeah,
great.
absolutely, absolutely.
Someone you missed out
Eventful
on the
Saturday.
prelims, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I
Yeah.
couldn't. I
Some of
couldn't.
those prelims were better than the main card.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but let's get into the main card nonetheless. All right. So we started off with a banger. And honestly, everybody kind of knew the narrative of this fight with Junior Dos Santos versus Ciryl Gane. Gone, I think, or Gane.
Gone, yeah. No, gone.
Gone. He's gone.
It's French.
Yeah, yeah.
Just I'm sorry
Yeah,
to
go for it.
interrupt, but watch out for these French fighters, eh?
Yeah, they're making
coming
a
up.
scene. Yeah.
And a few months ago, France actually legitimized MMA as in sport. So
So
I
they
think
have a
2020
commission now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So 2021, we might see some events in like France, you know. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be crazy for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and they have some good fighters
Oh yeah.
from that country. Yeah,
Yeah,
so watch out for them.
headed by none other than Ngannou, right?
Well, I think Junior Dos Santos would lose that fight anyway. But that punch was in the back of the head. So the elbow
think
was
so?
in the back of the head. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Do you?
The thing is, like, if
Look
you
controversial. Yeah.
It's a
well,
little,
it was
yeah.
because
Upon replay, I thought it looked fine.
well, the thing is, like, if a guy, I understand that if a guy is running away, you might hit the head. You know what I mean?
Well, he was
But-
turning his head and running away. kind of.
Well, you can kind of say that, but like, probably if it was a punch, I wouldn't say it. But when you elbow the guy, that means that you literally see where you're elbowing and you hit it there. So, to me, it wouldn't change the result. He would lose anyway. But it was foul. Like, it wasn't like it. If I was the fighter, I wouldn't want to be in that like that. You know what I mean?
Well,
when-
I guess yeah, there was some controversy, but I mean, upon seeing the replays, I mean, when someone pointed out that if it touches the ear, it's not considered the back of the head at all, and his elbow kind of like touched his ear.
Well, we can
right?
check again, but what I see is that he literally elbowed exactly the back of the head. It's a really dangerous spot too. So, anyway, but it wouldn't change like these fighters that they're old. Like, they won't be able to win the fight anymore because one is because of the damage that they've got so far.
Well,
and
yeah,
one is
that's
because
kind of the
of-
narrative of the night in terms of the.
like
main
if you
event.
look at the fight, usually the fighters like that, for old fighters, it's not when I say old, I don't mean just necessarily if someone is old they're not a good fighter.
Yeah.
If you've got damaged, you hesitate to let your hand go. And
Yeah.
what happens? And that's what happened with him. That's what happened with many fighters. Like same thing with Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
Tyron Woodley and Colby Covington was that the same thing. Like Tony Ferguson, it was the same thing. Like you hesitate, you're not that sharp anymore, and it was the same thing. So it would change the result, but
But
I
let's
think that
but let's not dismiss Ciryl Gane's performance.
Oh no.
He
That's what I'm
and
saying. Yeah.
as a fighter, he's great, man. He's definitely a top contender. He showed that he's among
Yeah, I'm afraid though Junior Dos Santos he just doesn't have a chin left. He just has nothing.
Do you guys
left.
think he's gonna get cut at this point? This is his fourth
I think
TKO
so.
KO loss.
Highly likely. Yeah.
For sure.
It's sad
if you
to
don't-
see him. Yeah.
well, considering
Even though the
big men he's
heavyweights aren't
fighting-
that deep.
Yeah, man, but I don't know if he was in a lightweight or like 170 pounder, well, for sure they would call him. But in heavyweight division, it's not that much of a fighter. So you need some people to fill up there. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but he's so out of it. Like his chin is so gone, and then for heavyweights, like you put him up against anybody else, and you can just see it happen, like ending in the same way every single time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think it's just for him to just it's time to finish his career for sure.
Well, I just hope if fighters like that fight, it's just because of the love of fighting. Because if you only fight at that point, you only fight to get money, then I feel really sorry for those fighters. Like some fighters get to that point, and it's
Yeah.
really
Well, I mean, a lot of times they
So-
claim that it's always about the love, but you never know.
no, it's not. Not
It's
all.
50-50.
Not
It's
all
a
the
little bit of both. I
You
guess.
never
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
You never
for
know.
sure.
But either way, it was kind of a very the narrative was written before the fight really began, to be fair. So let's move on to the next fight, Kevin Holland versus Jacare Souza. Wow. Again, the narrative kind of was written before, they even started. But everyone had a feeling that maybe Jacare would, bring out some of the old moves and,
I don't know
take him to the
much about
ground.
Jacare. I've seen couple fight maybe, but not that much
Jacare
fight.
has a very illustrious
But-
past.
but-
Very illustrious past. He is a multiple BJJ champion, and they
But
used
he's
to-
well past his prime. You could.
definitely,
Yeah, he's
definitely. I
definitely
mean,
well
I
another
don't know what he
fighter.
was thinking.
I
that he
mean, the
got that shot.
Jacare you saw on Saturday is not, the Jacare that used to be.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But
And
again-
but another thing I think I wanted to point out for this fight is that in the middle of the fight when Holland was on his back, and Jacare took him down pretty easily, but when Holland was on his back, he started talking to him. And he was, telling him like, "Oh, this is an honor. I dreamed about this, being here," like to Jacare's face. And Jacare being, the fighter that he is, an old school fighter, not necessarily, into that
Naive.
kind of things.
Yeah.
Sure, a little naive, but, in a new realm, not necessarily experienced that before. And, like, he hasn't seen that in the octagon before, where this guy's, like, so casually talking to me while I'm mounted on top of him.
He
And
definitely got distracted.
and he definitely got distracted,
Oh,
and given the fact that he's a bit older, and sometimes probably slowing down a bit, it kind of took a lot of mental facilities for him to process what's going on in that moment that he's talking to him. So I'm guessing it really, really distracted him. It distracted him to a point where he did not see that punch coming off.
Yeah, I was
off his
watching
back.
No,
the-
but
the-
water, I don't know. I'm not saying Kevin Holland is a bad fighter, but it's not really it's not a magnificent way to finish a fight because the guy had his arm down. So I'm not saying I'm not giving credit to Kevin Holland, but the other guy Jacare, buddy, if you're on your knees, you have to at least have your hands up. You know what I mean? If you're like that, then for sure the guy
Well,
gonna
that
come.
happens so
And then he
fast.
gets the first punch,
I don't know.
and then he doesn't react. Then he gets the second punch, and then third and fourth, and as it goes on.
I
So
feel like if you look back after the first punch, he was kind of, I don't know, he looked like he was out.
The
Oh, yeah.
first punch
Oh, yeah.
already stunned him beyond
Yeah, he got
comprehension.
stunned. That's why he didn't react or anything. And then he kept pounding,
it
and-
was really weird. It was
No, plus
it
who
was
punches you
very
like
weird.
that?
it
Who-
was
like,
really.
he was-
It was an awkward position to get
He was
punched
not
from.
expecting that. Like, who punches you from that position and knocks you out?
No, but who holds his hand down?
That was
No,
crazy.
but
what,
who-
what Holland did?
Yeah.
No one's gonna punch you in that position, but maybe
he
they're
did.
gonna kick
So
you. But
that's
maybe
that
they're
he
gonna
got-
kick
he
you.
caught him
But
off guard.
my
Well,
point
you-
is something else.
Well,
My
you,
point
you,
is
you
not
can't
off guard.
kick in that situation. He would have to punch.
Yeah.
But
No,
but the
power play-
the point of the punch is that you can't generate such a power from your back. That was the whole point where everybody
But he
was
did.
impressed.
No, no.
But it
all
was a
I'm saying-
combination of things where Jacare wasn't guarding, and that was combined with the talking. I felt he was not. He felt kind of casual. He was kind of laughing with him, thinking it's a joke. I'm gonna tear through this kid, and then wham, done.
Yeah, well, I think you always have to have your guards up, even if you're on the ground, because you can get a heel kick or something like that, and the possibility of getting hit was still there. Maybe not with the punch, but with the kick, and his hand was down. So anyway,
Well,
it's
you
just-
can't get
it's
kicked
just-
when you're down, though.
No, you can get kicked. No, you can get kicked on the chest. No, you can if
In the
I'm
head.
on my back.
the head.
If
That's
on
what
my
he got.
back. No, if I'm on my back and you're in front of me, I can kick you.
Yeah, if the
No,
other
that's-
fighter
no, I'm
is
saying-
standing, yes. If the other
If the
fighter is
fighter is
also on
standing,
the
yes.
ground, you can't kick him.
Yeah. Anyway, but
Which they were both on the ground.
Your hands has to be up anyway. By the end of the day, you all have to have your guards up.
Yeah,
But
that's-
another
Anyways.
way, it was kind of sad seeing all these old legends.
Yeah,
If
the
I-
old
if I
it was
may,
it was retirement.
Like
night, man.
not perform the way they used to. Jacare, Dos
Yeah,
Santos.
it's just the changing of the
Tony,
guard.
the biggest one of all of them. Tony.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we
Never
we
gonna
have
get
to
to
have
it,
a
but-
different something. I don't know, Bellator or something that it's just it be for that age range. You know what I mean? Because
Bellator
by
is
end
no
of the day-
longer for that age range though. Bellator is trying
Yeah.
to change. Although
Bellator
they
is
did
growing.
sign Yoel, which we'll talk
Yeah.
about a little later, but they have, recently bring in a lot of good young fighters. They brought in, Khabib's cousin, Usman. Bellator signed him. And that's a
Yeah.
Well,
big
they
fighter.
have to. If they want to win the long term game, they have to invest
they
in
have
younger
to go
guys.
for
You know,
young
they
guys,
can't just
yeah.
rely on UFC's
Yeah.
like ex legends.
Yeah.
So they can fight another
Discards.
one or two. Yeah, another
and I think they can compete with UFC because even though UFC is a really big brand and like for sure every fighter wants to be there, I don't think. Well, we don't know about the contracts, but I don't think they pay as much as us and normal people think they get paid. Yeah, maybe the top guys, yeah, maybe Conor, yeah, Khabib, yeah, but overall, I don't think the fighters they get paid that much. Like maybe
it's
if
not
you're
all
on
about
your,
the money though. Like the level of fighting, the
Yeah.
level of the the
UFC fighters on average do make
Yeah.
more than Bellator
Right
fighters.
now, Bellator is nowhere near UFC.
That's for sure.
yeah, but
There's,
no, but money.
like-
I'm saying that it's not a huge gap. So it's not like Bellator. Like if we're focusing on financial, I think Bellator can catch up to UFC. But yeah, for sure, the fighter is important. And
I think they're a long way to go, man. I think UFC, they're massive right now, and they grew
was
even
it
more.
was it Bellator or I don't know? It was a Strike Force or Bellator or something. I don't know if you guys seen that fight. Like it's the fight that starts. It's really funny. The fight that starts and these two fighters they go in the clinch and the gate of the cage.
Oh, yeah.
And they both get thrown out of the cage. It's just so funny.
That happened both in Bellator and
happened.
UFC. Yeah,
The UFC
that
happened in the
U-
middle of the round, though.
Yeah,
That wasn't.
And the guy got disqualified for it, so it's even worse.
He lost for it. He didn't get disqualified.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to our favorite
Female.
fight of the night.
Which
Mackenzie
one? The female
Dern
division.
versus
Yeah.
Virna Jandiroba. And that was a crazy fight, too. I really wanted this fight to go to the ground to see how they would basically grapple each other when they're both pretty much expert BJJ practitioners.
It's interesting when you have two grapplers fighting each other. Usually,
Always.
it's a stand-up fight.
Always.
You had Kobe versus Usman.
Usman.
You know,
Yeah, that
turned
was
out to
more
be
of a
an
clinch war
surprising-
and a toe stamp war. But yeah.
I think someone needs to clear at 170.
Yeah,
Hamza.
Hamza.
Someone
That's
needs
why
to
Hamza's here for, bro.
someone needs to clear
Smash
that
everybody.
coming.
division.
Smash.
Smash everybody, brother.
Brother, what you mean, someone? It's Hamza.
So what did you guys think of
Well,
Mackenzie Dern?
Hamza,
Let's not
Okay.
get distracted, guys.
Yeah.
We'll get to Hamza. We'll get to Hamza. Mackenzie Dern, she looked fantastic. Her stand up looked rejuvenated. Like since the last loss, she definitely stepped it up. And I mean, the other girl, Virna, she definitely kept up with her as much as she could. She did a lot of good clinch work, some good Muay Thai, but ultimately Dern, got the better of her, and she even got it with a broken nose.
I was expecting a lot more from her, Jandiroba, Virna. I was
Yeah,
expecting
yeah.
a lot more from her, and I don't know if she choked or if
I think Mackenzie is
just,
really good.
like really controlled the fight the way she wanted to.
I think Mackenzie's
But
really
yeah,
good. Her stand-up has
yeah,
improved
yeah.
tremendously.
I think,
and her
yeah.
coach, I think, is fantastic. Mackenzie's coach is one of the best, I think. I think it's Jason Perillo or something, is a very famous boxing coach. And basically, yeah, she's transformed. And I had a feeling that Virna, didn't want to go to ground with her. Right at the very end, she tried to go for a quick armbar, like a standing armbar, but that was far off.
But even
you
standing
cannot
up,
do that at
she
the end
had
of the
no
round.
plan. She had absolutely no plan standing up. She did a little bit of damage, but.
But if she was avoiding the ground game, she should have prepared more stand up perhaps, or
Well,
I don't know.
she was a smaller, like, she was a smaller than her too, right? Like, I think, like,
she was. They were very.
size wise, they were different. Like, I don't think they were the
I
same
think Dern
size.
had a bit
Yeah.
of a reach advantage, but overall not that far.
Yeah.
But
That was a good
anyways,
fight too. Yeah.
great fight. Yeah, I love that fight. I want to say no. Mackenzie Dern. Dana said that they would have got fight of the night if it hadn't been for the main
For
event.
Figueredo,
Yeah, if it hadn't been for the main event, they would have got fight of the night.
Yeah.
All right, let's round this card off with Tony Oliveira, man. Tony Ferguson Oliveira, and
moment of silence.
I want to
if
be
you
the
will.
first to say, because honestly, Tony Ferguson literally brought me into MMA, because he has been one of the staples of MMA for the past decade and more. And I just love the guy. So seeing his decline in the past two fights like this really, really, really made me sad.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see that. And it's just the reality, I guess, that's just happening
Yeah.
with all fighters, even with the ones that we talked about in the past. So yeah, it was just overall sad to see, but at the same time, we can't discredit Oliveira. That was a dominant performance, absolutely
Well,
dominant.
the one thing about Oliver, like when I compare Oliver and Tony, it's just like, it's kind of weird if I want to say it that way, but I think Charles Oliveira is a younger version of Tony. He kind of is, because like when you look at the style of his fighting, he doesn't care to go to the ground, so he's fine with that. He's perfect in the ground, and
He
he's
loves it. Are you kidding?
he's more diverse. So
Yeah.
that's how Tony was. But the thing with Tony is that he lost his last fight really bad. But other than that, Tony's old, man. Tony's 37 years old. So I don't think in right now that we're talking, maybe old days, yeah, maybe you had Tito Ortiz, he was fighting when he was 40 years old, but right now it's not like that anymore. If you're 36 or 37, you cannot like go with top guys, and when you go with a 31-year-old Charles Oliveira, that's what's gonna happen. The only thing I was really surprised was that I thought Charles Oliveira gonna beat him in a stand-up, even though many people don't say that, but I didn't think he would be that much dominating in the ground, and he was. So
I don't know if I agree with
shout
that.
out to him.
Yeah, I definitely don't agree with what you
Yeah,
just said.
Oliveira.
You say
Oliveira is-
37.
Everything was a contradiction there.
Yeah, like you say 37 years old, but you look at Miocic, he's 37. The guy can take anyone right now. Miocic,
Look at Glover, man.
No, but
40,
Miocic,
41.
Miocic
Name
is
one
not
guy
Mio-
that could
You're talking about. We are
easily,
talking
like,
about.
push over
No, but it
Miocic.
definitely
but
depends on the
heavyweights-
fighter.
But we are talking about
Yeah.
155 division.
yeah.
That's a whole different vibe. You're talking about in heavyweight. How many fighters you have in heavyweight?
With this one, I agree with someone.
Come on, one
Heavyweights
person-
and light heavyweights tend to, reach their prime in their
A little
mid
bit later,
30s
for sure. Yeah.
and almost their 40s, whereas lighter weights prime around 30, 28, 32. But
And
But-
one thing, you can go ask this from anyone who's been a professional fighter. One common effect that being old and being in the cage does it to you is that you hesitate more, and that's exactly what happened to Tony. That's exactly what happened to Tony. It's not that Tony wasn't punching good. He wasn't punching at all. Like he wasn't as sharp as before. So that's what happened. Like, and in 155 division, you cannot be like that because everyone is sharp, everyone is hungry to go get the belt. If you're gonna get, unless if it's your style, then that's a whole different story. Like someone like Yoel, it's his style, so he goes for counter. So that's different. But overall, if that's not your style, which is not Tony's style, Tony used to go after guys. So if that's not your style, if you hesitate to let your hand go, then that's what happens. And in the age of 37 in 155 division, fighting a 31-year-old hungry guy with a 7-strike win, then I didn't expect anything other than that. But
I want to add that Charles Oliveira definitely is not on the same trajectory as Tony Ferguson. Not even close.
No. If I was just gonna say,
Charles
if I were-
Oliveira comes from a BJJ background. He is a world-class jiu-jitsu fighter. Like that's his base. Tony's base was never jiu-jitsu. Tony's base was always boxing, kickboxing, and striking. He was always just
just being a different breed.
just a random striker with like a hard as nails body, and still.
Yeah, but the thing is, but the thing with
Charles comes from a different breed of fighter, man.
Yeah, but he like maybe in 2-3 years he's gonna be perfect in the stand up.
No, he's prime right now. Even
Oh,
in the
yeah.
stand up,
He's there. He's
even in
already
the
there.
stand up, he
Yeah,
beat Tony too.
Yeah,
He
man.
beat
He's
Tony in the
ready for
stand up.
that. He's ready for that title fight for sure.
But the amount of like the transitions into the locks and the submissions he had on Tony and stuff like that stuff is
He almost
next level.
almost broke his arm in the
Yeah,
first
saved
round.
by the bell. He definitely
man, for Tony
hyperextended
not
it.
to
Go
for Tony
take
not
him
to
down, mount him that quickly.
And I think at some point Tony wanted to tap. Like he was about.
He
to
was never gonna tap.
Yeah, nah, he's never
Well,
gonna tap.
I
He
kind of
was
felt
ready
his-
to die, but he's never gonna
He
tap.
got up like a champ and walked to his corner
Yeah.
without
I think
flinching.
All 3 rounds, yeah. But
Yeah.
literally, Tony's only highlights in that fight was that elbow. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
That's
the only thing
That's
he did.
sad.
The one that he
That's sad.
turned? Oh, the one that
Yeah.
when he was falling down, he
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
cut
caught
the elbow.
Oliveira. That was literally all he did in that
Yeah.
fight, and he just survived. The only highlight was surviving.
Yeah,
I
very
mean,
much.
like just to sum up the fight, you could say it was a combination of Tony not being himself, like Tony not being his usual
Usual self.
Yeah.
plus Oliveira just like completely
being in his prime.
outclassing Tony like fully, and that's crazy. Like to outclass someone like Tony on the ground, that means he means business for sure.
That is.
Well,
No,
yeah,
you can't just be like, whatever, Charles Oliveira. No. This guy is
Yeah,
the
he
next.
definitely put the entire
this
division
guy-
on notice.
Oh, yeah.
Oliveira is elite. He's an elite grappler. That's the difference between a great grappler and a world-class
And
elite
this guy
grappler.
has been growing up, he's been growing with the, like with
He's
the
been
hype, with the
silently
fans.
taking out
Oh,
everybody.
yeah. Like kind of low key, just like getting better and better and better.
He has
and
the
better to
most
point-
finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't
Most
have the most
submissions.
finishes. He does.
He has the most submissions and tied. Most
Submissions,
finishes is tied
he's
with
tied with
Cerrone.
Cerrone. Yeah,
Yeah, not just in MMA, but in UFC, and that's crazy.
yeah.
Not
It's a
in,
UFC
like,
record. Yeah.
pro MMA,
Yes,
but
UFC.
like in UFC alone,
Yeah.
and it's
But-
time for him.
but
It's
I
only
don't-
fair
Yeah.
for him to get a shot.
All right, guys. Let's just get into the elephant in the room. All right, let's get into it because I know Sam's dying to go into this.
Well,
Charles Oliveira just beat Tony Ferguson.
yeah.
The next fight coming up is Conor versus Dustin. Now, does the
Well,
winner of that fight Oliveira?
Did they announce that?
Yeah, of course. They did a promo.
Oh, I know. I mean, sorry, yeah. But if after, for sure, Conor's gonna win that fight. But I don't know. After that,
relax. Let's not get into anything drastic here.
Yeah. But it's Justin is over there. I don't know what's the deal with Chandler, and it's like many people there. But
I wonder who they're gonna give to Chandler. Maybe Oliveira versus Chandler would work.
No, Chandler Gagey, Connor's already going with Dustin, right?
That would
Chandler
be
Gagey, that would make
disrespecting
sense. That would make
Oliveira
the most
big
sense.
time.
For sure, yeah.
Disrespecting
No.
Oliveira to give
Oliveira
him
is
Chandler.
definitely getting a title shot next. Oliveira is definitely one of the.
I don't think so. I don't think they
I
give
don't
him.
I don't know about that.
directly.
I don't know
think
about
so.
that.
That,
Either.
yeah.
I don't know
You
about
can't
that.
say it. So because what's the rank of Charles Oliveira?
After
He's
this,
not- he's not in
after
the
this,
top
it's gonna
one
be three.
contender?
After this, it's
No,
gonna be three.
I would say number one contender right now.
Oh my
Well,
God! Come on, you're kidding
I
me,
don't know.
bro. Number
it's
one
just
contender.
my
So,
opinion.
so you completely ignore Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor.
Yeah, because they haven't fought
Justin
yet.
Gaethje.
Yeah, because they haven't
Okay,
fought
but you
yet.
cannot say that. Like they have to fight. Then you see what's going on. So
Yeah, but
I
like
don't
as
think-
of
we
right
don't-
now,
I don't
and
think
we
so.
don't
Charles
even know.
If the guy is beating Tony Ferguson after he's changed, like Tony wasn't the old Tony anymore. So you cannot say just because he won that fight he's gonna get the title shot. I don't think so.
Okay, first of all, the lightweight division, nobody's gonna get a title shot right now. Okay, like that's just we're not gonna talk about getting a title shot because we don't know what the fuck's going on with Khabib.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on.
No,
And we don't know
he's
who knows. Maybe
retired and
Khabib will
everyone
come
knows
back.
it.
Maybe Khabib will come back.
He might.
Oh no,
he
he won't.
might.
He won't. He only will come to fight GSP or something like that. But he
If-
likes to keep
If he
waiting.
says if Khabib turns around and says if Dana offers me something I can't refuse, that means
Maybe.
he's looking to come back, and Dana's looking
We
to
don't know.
make money to bring him, like trying to fill up the
Yeah.
bank account.
Here's my
So
question. Like, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
Where is Tony gonna go from here?
Done.
Paul Felder. I
Yeah, I mean,
They're
he's
still
has
they're already
no
talking about
doubt
that. Yeah.
he's not gonna be fighting top contenders anymore.
not anymore.
No.
It's over.
He can still fight some of the guys and beat them in this division, but just not the top contenders.
I think
I mean,
Tony
I say this as a Tony fan. I say this as a Tony fan. I hope he retires, and I hope he has enough money to do that. I don't want to see him fight again. I don't want to see him because I mean, after that Gaethje fight, I'm like, let's give him another chance. He wasn't ready. He was preparing for Khabib, and then he fought him in like 5 days notice. But after his last fight on Saturday, as a fan, I want him to retire. So.
I think Tony, in long run, he could be someone like Cowboy Cerrone, that he was there for a long time. He would win 2 fights, lose 2 fights, like something like that. He can be in the because someone like Tony, like I know he's changed, but he has good skills, so it's good to put him up there for rising stars to go through them as a challenge. So
See, that's something I do not want to see, though. I don't want to see
I'm not
Tony
saying- I'm not
Ferguson
saying- I'm not
become the
saying-
stepping stone for people.
no, I'm not saying I want to see that, but I'm just saying
That's
like,
what's
if-
gonna happen.
I'm saying, yeah, if he wants, the guy wants to fight, which he does, because that's what the
Yeah,
most fighters are.
yeah, I agree.
Well, that's what's gonna happen. So
Yeah, you're right. That's
is what it
exactly
is.
what's gonna happen. And Dana White said after, he said that Tony needs to take some time off. He said he needs to take some time off, go, recover, think about what you want to do with your future, and then we'll talk. So if Tony decides that he still wants to fight and he still wants to continue, I can't see the UFC not using him as stepping stones for others. And
he will be that.
And
he will be
unfortunately,
that
he'll take
fighter.
more and more damage until a point where
Yeah.
it's just
He
going
will
to become
be-
sad.
He will become that fighter that whoever wants to run to be the champion or get a title shot,
has to get
he has to go through Tony, and Tony will be based on
The
his
gatekeeper.
personality. He will, and then if someone pulls out of the fight, he's gonna replace, and it's like he's that, like, based off.
He's the company man, as he says
his
himself,
personality, yeah.
actually.
Yeah,
Which is sad because the company has done him wrong so many times.
Yeah.
Yet he's still a company man. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have good strategy.
Kudos to him. All right, Dustin Poirier versus McGregor. You honestly think McGregor is gonna walk through him?
Well, not walk through. I don't think he's gonna knock him out in the first round, like the first fight. No way, but he's gonna win. He's most likely he's gonna knock him out. So it's because the way Conor fights, he stays really outside, right? It's like he just comes, put a shot, and goes back, and that's how he fights. And like, again, I know you guys don't like what I'm saying because you're really fan of Nate Diaz or whatever, but like, if you compare the size of Nate Diaz, no, I'm just going based on his skills. If you compare the size of Nate Diaz and Conor, you see Nate is really bigger guy, but Conor reach is still same because he has that ability to come, punch, and go out. So when you compare that guy with someone like Dustin, like why Dustin Poirier is really known.
Nate Diaz is a natural welterweight. Let's just get that out of the way. He's a natural welterweight.
Yeah.
Conor
Yeah,
is
no.
a natural lightweight, even a natural featherweight, if anything. But he's a natural lightweight, so let's just not compare those two.
Okay, so I'm just saying, someone like Dustin, the reason he's known, he's well known, and he's a good fighter, is that like he's a brawler. Like, look at his last fight with Dan Hooker. That's his style of fighting. If you fight like that, you cannot win. But
With Conor.
There's no way you can win because first of all, Conor has precision. One thing about Conor is that the guy never got really punched that much, so he's healthy. So when you throw a punch, he sees that. Go look at I'm not saying like Eddie Alvarez is not a great fighter, but like if you look at the way he won, because he could see the hook is coming, so he ducked and then he counter-struck him. So if you really count everything, I don't think Dustin has the ability to win on a stand-up, and to take the fight in the ground, he cannot take him down. No one can take Conor down. I don't think anyone can take Conor down, except Khabib. But who can take Conor down in the division? No one.
If you can't tell by now,
Michael
Sam
Chandler
is,
probably can.
Sam is a huge Conor fan.
Yeah.
As you can tell.
Yeah.
No, but
saying.
Masood, what do you think about Conor's layoff? He hasn't fought in pretty much a year, and he retired during that time, and he was on.
Retired.
Well, yeah, retired, but he was on social media, drinking, smoking, partying. He had a,
Twitter fighting.
some problem with the cops in some island, getting arrested and all that stuff. Do you think that's gonna matter, or no? It's gonna be the same old Conor.
I mean, I think he's been active and he's been training. Despite all that, I think he's always active and training. He has his ups and downs, but I feel like he's gonna come very strong in January. And I agree with someone. He's more technical. He's not a brawler like Dustin. But let's not forget, it's been 7 years. They have both improved a lot since then, both of them. So it's I don't know. It's gonna be a better version of the first fight.
Yeah, I think Conor showed everyone.
And I'm gonna give the edge to McGregor for this one.
For sure.
But I feel like Dustin has improved a lot. Let's not forget that. He's way more technical.
Everyone is giving the edge to Conor. Everyone, the media.
I mean, no,
You have to, though. You have to.
Yeah, like even his last fight, Cowboy.
But I wouldn't
the
be
Cowboy that he used to be, but Conor definitely showed everyone, that he means business.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't be
Poirier,
surprised if Dustin does a lot better,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
Poirier is a live dog,
Poirier,
man.
his last
He's a
fight,
live
absolutely
dog.
great fight with Dan Hooker. That was a crazy fight,
Crazy
yeah.
fight.
And
I mean, that was previously the fight of the year, but not anymore.
Dan Hooker, even after that loss, he's not going anywhere. The guy's still young,
no.
And
To be honest with you, I really didn't like. I didn't like to see Conor and Dustin rematch. It's like there's no point in it for me. Like I wanted to. I would rather to see. I would rather to see. I would rather to see Gagey and Conor. Maybe that would be a better fight, but.
Gage just came off a loss though, and Conor's been wanting to fight.
But to see a fight.
How about Gagey and Michael Chandler?
Gage and Michael Chandler is in the works. Dana already said it's in the works.
The only reason that you get excited to watch a fight because you don't know what's gonna happen. But if you know what's gonna happen, then it's not that exciting for me. To be honest, it's not really exciting for me because I already know what's gonna happen. So.
If you say that, then how can you get excited for Conor versus Justin? You know that Justin's gonna get whacked by Conor.
But they didn't fight before. That's different.
Okay, but still, you know how it's gonna end up being given their styles.
Yeah, but you didn't see the fight before. Between that and Dustin, then I at least rather
Dustin and Conor, they've come a long way. Dustin's already been interim champion. Dustin's faced Khabib. They both have come a long way. So it's not the same fight. It's definitely not the same fight.
I know.
Yeah, it's you can't tell 100% what's gonna happen in any fight, really.
Okay. Now, last prediction.
Just a wild guess. Conor beats Dustin. Conor versus Oliveira.
Okay, but say the Dustin and Conor.
And then Chandler challenges the winner.
I feel like they won't. I feel like they won't give Oliveira a title shot.
Yeah, me neither.
Maybe agree. After one more fight,
I feel like Conor is gonna be like Oliveira's not big of a name.
Yeah, Conor is next for the Conor wins. He's the next for the title.
After outclassing Tony like that, come on.
I swear, Conor's gonna be. Yeah, Conor's be like Oliveira's not a big enough name, and he's not gonna be able to trash talk with him because he basically doesn't speak English.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. I hope that doesn't happen because that would just show that UFC is 100% commercialized, and I hope there's still some.
But first of all, none of these fights that get made are always gonna be like the logical fights to make, right? Like that's just the way it is.
To a point, you want it to be, right?
No, but then you look at
to a point, but the lightweight division is so stacked that
All right, guys, we gotta be real. If you want to look at Charles Oliveira, like he beat Tony, and good job to him, but he beat the guy he was changed. So if you look at who deserves the title shot,
doesn't matter though.
It's still
Tony
Ferguson. But
it's still El Kakui.
Okay,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you don't be a homie, okay?
No,
Don't be
but he's right
fat.
though. It is a
No.
name, and he did have a
Yeah.
ranking next to his name, which was a ranking number 3. So that
Even
does
if you
stand for something.
even
No,
if
but
you're
he's not
nobody and
ranking number
you
three.
beat Tony
Tony
like that, you
Ferguson
deserve
was
a
3.
shot.
Yeah, Tony Ferguson
Yeah.
was 3 before this fight. He's no longer gonna be, but next week I'm pretty sure Oliveira is gonna take 3.
Oliveira is gonna be for
No,
sure.
but if you want to list up the people that they like, let's say who gets the title shot, there's more than 3 4 name, and Charles Oliveira is in the bottom of the chart. Like you have Dustin, you have Connor, you have
But
Gage,
Dustin and Conor are
you
Are
have
gonna get
Chandler.
settled, right?
yeah. The winner of that is gonna challenge for the shot for the title shot. So it's gonna be the winner
That's
of
the thing, MJ.
yeah.
I think that Connor, let's say he wins against Dustin, he's not gonna accept the Oliveira fight. That's just what I think. I think he's not gonna accept the Oliver fight.
I mean, at
and,
that point,
and at that point, by that point, I think we're gonna probably get the Gagey and Chandler fight announced.
Yeah.
We don't know when they're gonna fight, but it's probably gonna get announced by then. And then Connor's gonna start talking trash about the winner of that fight. And then whoever wins
okay.
that one gonna go for the belt. And
With Oliveira?
Oliveira is just gonna get basically shafted.
That no, I don't see that. I can't see that happening.
Really?
I mean,
Yes,
I mean,
Listen,
I
you
hope it
gotta
doesn't happen,
consider
though.
something about fighters. This is the problem with Figueredo right now. UFC doesn't like to back fighters that don't speak English. Like they just don't. They don't want a fighter that doesn't speak English to be a champion. They want you to speak something, like just a little bit.
Wait, guys.
Even Khabib, they go like, "Bro, learn something," and he did learn something, and everybody connected with him based on just like 3 sentences. I swear.
Hamzat.
Hamzat speaks a little bit because he's from
A little
Sweden,
bit,
right?
a little bit.
And he connects
all he
with.
knows is a smash.
Yeah, man, that already
That's
connected
all
with
he
the
needs to
fans.
know.
Like that already connected with the fans. People are
'Cause
already
that's all he
using
does.
that as
He
a
smashes.
as a catchphrase. Smash
Yeah.
with the E. That's already connected.
But guys,
with the fans.
one reason I'm saying Charles Oliveira, like he's a great fighter, but one reason I'm saying maybe it's not like, just don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve a title shot, but I'm just saying you cannot confidently say that because the person like before Tony. Well, first of all, he beat Tony, who was changed, but before Tony, he beat Kevin Lee. It's not really like between the names that we're saying. It's that I don't think
Kevin Lee is a very good fighter. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Have you?
But he's
do you
gone,
remember
man,
that Tony Ferguson versus Kevin Lee? That fight.
yeah, he got caught
Triangle
in triangle.
choke.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Kevin Lee,
But-
I don't care what you say about him, but he almost finished Tony.
I think
He
Kevin
was
Lee,
close. He was
Yeah,
but
he
close.
he's not diverse.
He did
Kevin
come
Lee is
close.
not a diverse
So
fighter.
you
Kevin
can't
Lee
be like
only relies on his
Kevin Lee is
wrestling.
no pushover.
But I guess you can never really say anyone's close to finishing Tony because look what Oliveira did.
Yeah.
You can never
Almost
finish him.
Yeah.
He'll break his arm. He won't
Almost
give up.
fully broke his arm and he didn't pass.
Anyways, guys, we have to wrap this show up. So let's talk about the last thing, which was Bellator signing Yoel. After they're saying that they're not going to sign Yoel.
Soldier of God.
What do you guys think about this? Is he going to do anything good in Bellator? Is he going to go straight for the title with Musasi?
He's
And
gonna do
they,
good. I
They
don't know
signed
if
him
they give
off
him
for
the
light
title shot.
heavyweights.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, 205.
So he's going to fight Bader? Oh, sorry. No, the Kuchkov. Sorry. Something Kuchkov or something. They're light heavyweight champion.
I don't
forget
know,
his
but
name.
it's interesting.
He's a
I'm
Russian.
just excited to see him fight. I'm just excited to see Yoel fight again.
But
After all these-
at 43, do you think he's also susceptible to what we've been talking about this whole show about older fighters?
I mean, I feel like he's different from Junior Dos Santos and Jacare and other guys that come. He fought the best 3 middleweights in their primes, and they all finished with decision. They were all the close decision loss. I feel like he's still.
Easy for sure.
I think he still got it in him.
I mean, we could have still seen Yoel in UFC.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
Maybe
even
not
like-
against those 3 guys, but
Nemkov is the light heavyweight champion.
I
at
think
Bellator.
Yoel is gonna do good in
Yeah.
Bellator. I think the only thing the only issue with Yoel is that he only has one weapon, and that's his punch, and he only gets to punch that hard and land it mostly when he's countering a strike. So
Have you seen his wrestling?
Yeah,
yeah,
man,
but
he's
he
got
doesn't go for a
wrestling.
takedown that much. No, but he
He's
doesn't
actually
go
known for
for a
his
takedown that much.
wrestling. Yeah.
Maybe
Okay,
he'll
he's
give.
okay, but most of the fights that he won with the knockout. He
But it
didn't
also
win-
depends on your
No, but
opponent.
okay,
Like, when
hold
you're
on.
fighting- when you're fighting
The
someone like
wrestling,
Paulo
Yeah, of
Costa,
course.
you
the
know,
wrestling that you're talking about. If you're saying he has a good wrestling and he's known because of his wrestling because he didn't get taken down like Justin Gage, that's a different story than being able to use your wrestling to win a fight. The way he wins a fight is heavy shots through a counter. So that's how it is. So if you only have one weapon to win the fight, I don't know. In long run, it's not going to be good.
What if you have the type of weapon Conor has?
Well, the Conor is different. The
See what
thing
the
with
Conor
Conor is
fan
that
has to
Conor
say.
uses leg. Conor uses leg. No, what I'm saying
Oh,
is
now
fact.
Conor
It's not,
uses
it's
his
not
leg.
a fan. No, it's not a fan thing. It's a fact. Conor uses leg.
We're gonna be ripping on Sam with this kind of thing for a while. Okay, guys, we need
Conor
to
Those flying knees.
definitely wrap this up. But I do want to give a shout out to Pani Kianza that's fighting this weekend at UFC Fight Night.
Let's go.
Fellow country woman of ours. Good luck to her, and I'm excited to see her fight. Hopefully, one day we might be able to, talk to her about her fights and see where she stands. Anyways, it's been fun, guys. Thank you all so much. I think
First
it's been
episode?
a great first episode. And you guys
Hopefully
have
many more to come.
any final thoughts?
Okay, just predict the next UFC event is Conor and Dustin, right?
The next
So-
pay-per-view
no,
event,
that's
but not the
pay-per-view,
next fight night. We
Well-
have Holloway versus Cater first. That would be awesome.
Well, I think Cater's.
I'm gonna give it to Holloway.
Oh,
Obviously.
100%. 100%.
I mean, it's unfortunate that we have to see Holloway fighting this fight, given what happened in the last fight. I mean, yeah, you're
looks like we
smiling
need
right
to
now,
push
but
this podcast to 2 hours, man.
okay, let's
We
just
can
wrap it up.
constantly
Let's
go
just
on
wrap it
to
up.
newer
But
subjects.
No.
yeah. I'm excited to see Holloway again. Hashtag blessed.
No, but you didn't predict it. Prediction is that he's gonna knock out on second round or whatever. So be precise.
Okay,
Holloway
we're pretty
decision.
much we're really far from that show.
Holloway
We have
decision,
we have
for
a
sure.
fight night coming up. So this main event, the one that's coming up, is
Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy versus Geoff Neal or Jeff Neal, however you want to say it. I honestly don't know much about Jeff Neal, to be honest with you.
Me neither.
He's solid, but he's nothing
he's had
special,
some
but
very
solid.
unspectacular fights, I should say. But Wonder Boy also, he's getting up there. He's getting up there, and he's very very distracted with the whole social media YouTube thing. I don't know how much
What happened
training
to
he does.
Hamzat?
his
has
his
no,
opponent got COVID.
Yeah, he's no one to fight again.
Leon Edwards. Actually, Kevin Holland called him out, said, "Let's fight."
I don't
next
think
week.
it's happening. I don't think it's
He
happening.
said, "Let's fight next week," but it's not gonna fight. It's not gonna happen. UFC is protecting Khamzat. They're not gonna give him a fight that's gonna trip him up. Kevin Holland might trip him up. Same with Neil Magny, and that's why they don't give it to him.
Another one to look forward to: Marlon Chito Vera,
And Aldo,
Jose Aldo. Yeah.
is that this
Yeah,
weekend?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this next one. Yeah,
Nice.
it's the co-main event for Wonder Boy.
Very
Good,
nice.
good fight night.
That
Yeah,
would be a good fight.
Mike-
Yeah.
Michelle Pereira. We got
Oh, that's right.
Greg
Some
Hardy
of the ones
fighting
that were, you're right. Michelle Pereira versus
Even-
Chaos
even Anthony-
Williams is going to
Michel
be
Pereira,
insane.
yeah. Michel
Anthony
Pereira.
Pettis is fighting Alex Moreno.
Oh my God, Anthony Pettis. Oh, okay. I
Oh,
thought he
yeah.
was in the
Yeah, yeah.
undercard. That
We
would have been
have
sad.
we have Bilal Muhammad,
He
Diego
is,
Lima.
yeah.
Yeah. Good fight.
Oh, Marcin Tybura is fighting as well with Greg
Yeah.
Hardy. That's a good fight.
That will be, for a heavyweight. That will
Yeah.
be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. As always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next week.
Smash that subscribe button.
Okay.
Bye. See you guys.
Take care, guys. See you soon.